News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KBNU.
KBNU News Time is 4:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Roof Rescue. A staff member at a South Salt Lake Middle School was arrested Tuesday after police said she was having sexual relations with a 14-year-old student and became pregnant with his child. The student was also allegedly threatened by members of a gang of which the woman was reportedly a member. According to a statement issued by the Granite School District on Wednesday, Kimberly Jennifer Cruz Romero, who worked as an attendance tracker at Granite Park Junior High, was terminated as a result of these charges. As stated in a police affidavit of probable cause, the 29-year-old Cruz Romero is facing one first-degree felony count of rape of a child, one first-degree felony count of forcible sodomy, two third-degree felony counts of unlawful sexual activity with a minor, and one infraction. Along with holding a position of trust within the Granite school system, KUTV has confirmed that Cruz Romero had formerly worked as a prisoner funds clerk for several months at the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office, a position which helps to administer bail money. Authorities said an investigation into this case began on December 16th when the victim reported to a Granite School District police officer that he and one of the school's attendance trackers had been having sexual relations. KBNU News Time is 4:06. KBNU weather for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low in the lower 20s. And then in the valley, snow tomorrow in the forecast, 1 to 3 inches. High temperature in the mid-30s. Snow in the evening, then rain and snow after midnight, Friday night into Saturday. And rain and snow in the forecast for Saturday, high temperature around 40. There is a winter weather advisory in effect for the Cache Valley all day tomorrow and a winter storm watch for the mountains starting late tonight. And that will continue all the way through Sunday. Today, we've been to 38. Right now, it's 33 at KBNU. KBNU weather brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Save up to $16 on a pair of Rain-X wiper blades or take a $10 instant rebate on a set of Napa Exact Fit wiper blades. Also, Chevron Dello 15-weight 40 oil, $15.99 a gallon at your 5 locally owned Preston to Providence Napa Auto Parts stores.
This is David from Roof Rescue. A roof is not something most people think about until they notice a leak on the ceiling. This time of year, fluctuation in temperatures, along with rain, snow, and ice, can do a number on your roof. If you notice these leaks, they won't go away on their own and are oftentimes a sign that the roof has reached the beginning of the end of its life. Call Roof Rescue for a free analysis, diagnosis, and estimate. Let's fix those leaks and keep you dry this winter. Call 435-999-4268 or visit roofrescueusa.com. Roof Rescue, providing watertight peace of mind.
KBNU News Time is 4:08. The Logan Downtown Alliance announced the Best of Show entries for the annual Parade of Gingerbread Homes in downtown Logan. The winners were decided by the public, with more than 2,000 ballots cast during the 23rd anniversary of the traditional event. Gary Saxton, the executive director of the Logan Downtown Alliance, was happy with the entries and the participation from the public. Saxton said they have some good fun gingerbread creations every year. There were a lot of families downtown looking at the different entries, and it seems like it's getting to be a fun family tradition. This year, each architect winner will take home $100 in prize money. The gingerbread creations will remain on display at the host locations through December 31st. You can see this year's winners of the Best of Show in the professional category and also the community category at CacheValleyDaily.com. And a Mapleton, Utah's family home was left seriously damaged after catching fire Wednesday morning. Representatives of the Mapleton Police Department said that crews with the city's fire department were dispatched just before 3 a.m. on reports of a garage fire with audible explosions. Upon arrival, police reported that the home's garage was fully engulfed. Fire personnel acted quickly and were able to evacuate the two occupants safely with the help of neighbors, as well as contain the garage fire so as to protect the main living area. Authorities report the cause of the fire is being investigated. KBNU News Time is 4:10. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
The latest news 24/7. News Talk KVNU 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Looking for the biggest preseason RV deals in 2023? You don't have to look hard when they're in your own backyard. During the Northern Utah RV Show, sponsored by Bish's RV, January 12th through the 14th, we're bringing the largest new and used RV show in Northern Utah history to the Golden Spike Event Center at the fairgrounds. For 3 days only, you'll find a massive selection of new and used travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, truck campers, and more, starting as low as $8,991, like on a used 2022 Viking 13-foot tent camper. We're also offering clearance pricing on all remaining 2022 RVs. No payments until April on approved credit. Plus, enter to win a brand new $30,000 travel trailer. No purchase necessary. Complete rules online at NorthUtahRVShow.com. Don't miss the biggest RV event in Northern Utah history. January 12th through the 14th inside the Golden Spike Event Center. Open daily at 10 a.m. with free admission. Sponsored by Bish's RV. Use 2022 Viking 10 camper VIN number 019538. SDK number 574038. Benefits price subject to prior sale. Sale price does not include tax, title, dock, surcharge, or registration. Dealer number 426B.
It's Fisher Home Furnishings year-end liquidation. The last week of the year, Fisher's marks down and clears out all overstocks. One-of-a-kinds, unclaimed layaways, closeouts, late Christmas arrivals, and discontinued items. Take another 20 to 40% off the lowest marked sale price. Bassett, La-Z-Boy, Flex Steel, Serta, Bernhardt, Lexington, all the best brand names at the year's biggest discounts. 20 to 40% off the sale price. Fisher Home Furnishings year-end liquidation sale. No interest financing. Sorry, no layaways at these prices. Shop in-store or anytime at FisherHF.com.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cash Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have two guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People, our final regular show of the 2022 year. Tomorrow we will be on air, a special 2-hour movie show with Andy Morgan recapping a year in movies and also taking a look ahead a little bit at what January holds in store and the awards season, of course. Oscars, not around the corner, but the next big event in the movie world at least. That's tomorrow. 4 to 6 p.m. Andy Morgan will be here in the studio for a year-end recap. Later on in the show, the votes are in. We'll have the top 5 stories from our listeners of the year, national, state, and local stories. We're up for grabs in this, and we got quite a few emails, about 75 emails, and about 20 different comments via Facebook and the group chat, or the, show chat on the Google chat service, and I tabulated them all earlier this afternoon. So that's coming up later on the show. KVNU For the People listeners' top 5 stories of the year. You're still welcome to weigh in. Shoot me an email at kvnuftp@gmail.com. We'll get to that at 5 o'clock today. Right now, starting the show with our usual Thursday programming, the Theater Hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio. You can read Charlie's work each and every day at cashvalleydaily.com. News stories, theater reviews, and more. Once a week, he joins us here in the studio to talk arts and entertainment in Cache Valley, which there's never a shortage of to talk about. And
except now.
Except right now, right? But that does give us an opportunity to look back and even maybe forward a bit. USU's theater crew will be kicking things off with their next installment in February. But until then, kind of a slump, as is tradition this time of year.
A lull, yeah.
A lull, yeah, that's a better word to use. But, and then things get rolling and then really get rolling and really get rolling. And then, Charlie, I talked to a young man who had, I want to say interned, but I think he was paid with Utah Festival Opera last summer. And I forget they do this. But he mentioned, I said, was it good career-wise for you? And he said, yes. He said he'd bounced from small company to small company for years since graduating college a few years ago, and then did this little stint, a few weeks only this summer with Utah Festival Opera, and was hired as an art director the next month.
Well, that's cool.
And he said it wouldn't have happened without that. And he also said that that he had a chance to meet Michael Ballum and some others, and celebrities in his world. And it was a fun story. But I'd forgotten about that side of things. That a lot of what happens in Cache Valley is also a springboard for people who want to work professionally in this world.
Absolutely.
And we don't talk a lot about the business side of things, but people have to make money. The theater companies have to make money. And it was just a kind of a cool story. I ran into him randomly, and I mentioned I was from Cache Valley, and he said, I was up there this summer, and that's how we got talking. So right out of the gate, I was wondering, thinking about today's show and you being here, did you have, I know we'll get to your tops later on, but did you have a least favorite this year? Was there something you went to that just absolutely hit the bottom of the list?
I don't think so.
It was a good year, it seems like.
It was a really good year.
That's cool.
I think people were recharged coming back off the short season, the condensed season we had in 2021.
Sure.
No, I can't think of anything that was, completely disappointing.
I was running through my head and was thinking, did I hear at all throughout this year, did I hear Charlie say, do not bother with this one or that one? I mean, I know there were some that just weren't your personal favorites, but you found good things in them still. And great shirt, by the way. I just noticed that. I love it.
My granddaughter is absolutely obsessed with Stranger Things.
That is very cool.
So she bought us all Hellfire Club shirts for Christmas.
I love that. Oh man, quite a show. I'm still behind. I haven't finished the season that came out earlier this year. Trying to rewatch the whole thing.
I'm on the fourth or fifth time to watch that.
It's good.
Not the fourth or fifth time. It isn't.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if it holds up that much. I'm going through my second time rewatching because there was such a gap and my memory's so bad that I didn't want to watch this newest season when it came out earlier this year without catching or refreshing things. Mm-hmm. So I started rewatching, and then that's been a bit of a slog. But it's fun how they mix the music in and make that kind of part of the theatrical experience of the show. That actually relates a bit to the same individual who told me the story about interning or whatever they call it for UFO this year. He talked about the music. And he said, I said, what's your favorite thing about working in this environment? And he said, the music. You learn new things about music when you're part of any production that has a musical flair to it. And he said, something I think people don't appreciate is how hard it is to, as opposed to like a concert performance where you just stand in front of a microphone and sing. Mm-hmm. He said, people don't appreciate how hard it is for a lot of these artists to be a part of a stage performance and sing. And it reminded me of, we've talked about the acrobatics of Peter Pan at Pickleville a couple of summers ago and other things like that. I couldn't do it. I don't think I could sing and jump around the stage at the same time.
Well, precisely. I mean, think of...
I'd pass out.
Look at Singing in the Rain, okay?
Yeah.
Now, you've got all kinds of production numbers there. It's a dance show.
Sure. And not just like kind of shuffle step dance. This is full on.
No. You got to remember, this was originally choreographed by Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
And his shtick is really athleticism.
Yeah.
Graceful movement combined with athleticism. And, I mean... But, think Good Morning, the song in the end of the first act.
Yeah.
They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff on stage, and they've got to sing full blast.
Yeah.
And even something like Singing in the Rain itself, which is a soft shoe number.
Sure.
But Logan McKenna had to be right on that sound all the time.
Yeah. And never stopped moving.
No.
There wasn't really a pause
no.
throughout any of that, but it fascinates me. And I think, we need to appreciate that a little bit more. You don't often hear, the word athleticism thrown in when talking about a stage production, but it's there.
Oh, yeah.
The training required,
you think about it now when everybody's got these mics taped to their heads, that's a help.
Sure.
You don't have to be projecting as much.
I can't imagine. Having to throw your voice across an entire...
A few years ago, what you had was microphones stationed at various areas of the stage, and you got told, play the mics.
Yeah.
And if you're in a dance number, that's fairly difficult.
Yeah, it honestly just amazes me that they're able to do it and do it well. I think that's the most impressive thing is that you and I've heard stumbles. I saw a production once, I don't remember of what, where the lead was a bit out of breath and he had to. You could tell it wasn't part of the plan, but he had to pause for a second and kind of stall to catch his breath. But
and it's particularly with all the mics they have now, if you're going to catch them doing things like pulling in a deep breath to go on,
it'll be noticeable, right?
Yeah, it's really noticeable sometimes.
Very fascinating. It just honestly blows me away. So I just it made me appreciate the fact that there is an athleticism to this, a training to this, and that isn't often acknowledged, I think, when people talk about this. My friend Dave Denton used to work at Cool always used to say the same thing about WWE and wrestling. He said, sure, it's fake, but do you know what they have to do to be good at it?
Sure.
They're athletes. So anyway.
But back in the good old days, the first thing they had to do in getting ready for a performance like this is teach everybody how to breathe from their diaphragm.
Oh, sure.
To really suck in the air, so that they were able to project to sing. And it wasn't easy necessarily.
No, it's honestly amazing to me, and so hats off to all the talent involved in pulling something like that off. That for most of us comes and goes as a 2-hour experience. This is weeks, even months of training like an athlete would to be able to do this well. So, and man, was it a year of music?
Yeah,
there was
that's absolutely true. We had tremendous shows.
Yeah,
Singing in the Rain. I'm thinking of the CTC show, Legally Blonde.
Yeah,
that's a different kind of music, but
still,
it was still full on.
Oh yeah, that's. It was another thing I thought about looking back over this past year, at least of the things that I saw. It was, for me at least, a year of, if not firsts, rarities. Things that, Singing in the Rain, for example.
Mm-hmm.
There were others, though, that I'm blanking on right now. Things that I hadn't had a chance to see before, right here in Cache Valley.
The Magic Flute.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the UFO productions.
Oh, yeah.
The Magic Flute.
That alone.
Carmen. And the Tenderland.
Yeah.
Which is, oh, my God.
Still my biggest miss of the year.
Oh, I wish you'd seen that.
Of all the things to not have been able to get out to a live performance literally in a field It just amazes me.
Not in a field. You were in Gary Griffin's backyard.
That's true. Near fields.
It was a beautiful, beautiful pastoral experience. It really was. You know, they held the curtain to let the sun go down enough that it wasn't going to interfere with being able to see.
Sure.
The show actually started at 8 p.m. And the feel of it was just marvelous.
I hope they're able to do something like that again. It's just a unique setting and a unique production.
I'm not sure Gary agrees with
yeah,
that.
Maybe. I have heard that a few people thought that was quite a headache to pull off, I imagine. So, Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio, if you'd like to join us recapping 2022 in the theater world, 753-5868. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Chris Wilson of Wilson Motor Company. It's been a great year, and I appreciate all of our customers and employees who have made it possible. If you're looking for a new or used vehicle, we are in the final days of our holiday sales event. We have clearance prices on all remaining vehicles. Check out our inventory online at wilsonmotor.com or drop in for a test drive at one of our two great locations at 328 North Main or next to the Olive Garden.
Wilson Motor Company, we make car buying easy.
It's been a year filled with incredible relationships. For the team at Smart Construction, building your custom home is the reason they get up each day and do what they love to do. Thank you from the Smart Construction team. Whether it's a gorgeous lakefront home in Bear Lake or a luxury mountain retreat, we invite you to see their work online, smartconstructionbearlake.com, or follow them on Instagram at Smart Builder. Smart Construction would love to build your dream. Make the smart choice. Choose Smart Construction.
When I went looking for a place to rent, I wore a mask, but they could still see I'm black. The landlord told me
nothing available.
When I went looking for an apartment, I wore a mask. Obviously, I'm Latino. They said
the place has been rented.
My wife and I were house hunting.
We wore masks, but we're Asian American. And the real estate agent said,
you won't be happy here.
If you suspect housing discrimination because of your race, file a complaint with HUD. Go to HUD.gov/fair housing. Fair housing. The law is on your side. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Recapping the year in theater with Charlie Schill here in the studio for our weekly theater hour. It was Thursday in theater coming out at the same time there, if people want to know why that just happened. 753-5868 if you'd like to join us, going over Charlie's favorites, highlights from the year, maybe even some time to look ahead at what's coming up, of course, as USU first out of the gate gets underway in February. A little lull right now as far as openings and things like that, but plenty to talk about from the last year. We did have a caller on the line during the break there, couldn't stay to go live. Lori calling, and Charlie and I were talking about the athleticism of the participants in these productions to sing and dance and all of that. And Charlie, you'd mentioned that it's even with the miking that happens now. They have these mics that are a lot easier to hide, so that takes away some of the projection that needs to happen. Lori calling, mentioning that the Utah Festival Opera performances, they weren't mic'd.
And that was Lori Ballum, so she should know.
That's right. and that to do that, I kind of wonder if you could mic them without. It seems like the power that a lot of those performers have, that I saw at least, if you put a mic on them, I think you just have to turn it down. You just have to turn the mic off. Well, they're that good.
An opera singer is trained to project.
Sure. That's it's a fascinating aspect of this, and it's something I can't do. This was, I think this for me was not that there has been a bad one recently, but when it comes to Utah Festival Opera, I think this summer was a favorite. I don't know, last summer was so good for me personally, because a lot of those in 2020 or 2021 I'd never seen before. So I had a chance there. But the lineup this year was unique.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot of uniques this year.
Well, one of my personal favorites is She Loves Me.
Oh.
I'm first of all, I'm a sucker for any time you put Stefan Espinosa and Vanessa Ballum on stage together.
Sure.
There's chemistry there because they're married, and the whole idea of them playing around with, hey, we're falling in love again. That's very romantic, I think.
Sure.
Plus, they had a great supporting cast. Kelsey. Oh, come on.
I'm trying to remember, too.
Oh,
Kelsey.
Come on. Oh.
She was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, Lindsay Kellstrom, not Kelsey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, from the same production. Okay.
Yeah.
That was...
I'm having one of those days.
It's the end of the year. We can get away with it.
Lindsay was, I've had my eye on Lindsay forever. She sang the lead in Bright Star for CTC.
Oh,
and then during the pandemic lull, when they were doing those random acts shows at the Eccles Theater.
Yeah.
She sang
the pop-ups
in a concert version of Bright Star. And then she's gone on. She went to the Music Theater West. She directed some shows, and then she graduated to UFOMT. So
that's it's fun to think of that as sort of a graduation
Well,
because
yeah.
it is a bit.
Yeah, sure.
That's when
she's involved in their education program now as a business manager, I believe. And she's doing well, and she still goes out and directs for Music Theater West.
That's right.
So it's really good. In She Loves Me, she had a very minor role, Iona Ritter, and she is a real hard luck girl. Can't pick the right man. And in the second act, she sings a trip to the library about how she kind of fell into an optometrist's lap.
That's fun. I like that. This is a fun comment from a listener here. A listener says, not from this year, but a best of for me. Charlie mentioned Stefan Espinosa. We'll never forget him in Oklahoma. That was also Utah Festival Opera, right? A few years ago?
Yeah.
He was Hakeem.
Hakeem. He plays he's a traveling salesman.
Yeah. Ollie. I had to remember. That's one of my favorites. But, I actually didn't see their production that year, but this listener said that was a favorite of theirs, seeing Stefan in that role. So it's been a big year as far as... I reached out to Wendy Hassan, but just missed her for the holiday break. I was wondering if she had any information on ticket sales and sellout periods and things like that. But I know that it was a banner year for Cash Arts in general for near selling out shows. I remember just our conversations each week. I'd look at the ticket sales for whatever we were talking about, and those to be able to almost sell out the Eccles that many times.
1,100 seats.
Yeah, that's
at $55 and 125, was it?
Yeah, for steamroller, Manheim Steamroller.
Yeah, of course.
That was.
Of course, you don't know what they have to pay them to bring them in.
Oh, I'll bet that one. Manheim Steamroller, but it's a lot.
You betcha.
Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio, talking theater in Cache Valley, a year in review. You're welcome to join us as well if you had favorites or highlights you want to point out. 753-5868. Thanks to Lori for the call. We'll be back with more after the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 4:35, and the news is brought to you by U&I Furniture. The National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch in effect from 5 a.m. tomorrow to 5 a.m. Monday for the mountains of northern Utah. Heavy snow is expected, 1 to 3 feet. And also there is a winter weather advisory in effect from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday for the Cache Valley and other northern valleys in Utah. We'll have further details on the weather in just a moment. A 25-year-old Logan man has been arrested and charged with allegedly trying to kidnap and assault a woman during a domestic dispute. According to law enforcement, Christian Ramon Pena was booked into the Cache County Jail on Sunday. According to a probable cause statement, a resident called 911 early Christmas morning reporting there was a male suspect beating a woman who was screaming for help. The caller informed dispatch that the man had pulled up and hit another vehicle and then shoved the woman into a Logan apartment. When Logan City police arrived on scene, they identified Pena as the suspect and took him into custody. The victim was located in an upstairs bedroom. Her face and head were covered in blood. She was later transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers reported that there was a large amount of blood inside the residence. Pena claimed the alleged victim had fallen on the snow, although there were signs of blood outside. The victim's injuries were also inconsistent with slipping on the ice, especially a swollen black eye and a gash to the top of her head. Police report Pena has been arrested multiple times for domestic disputes in the past. He also was arrested after getting into a physical altercation with a neighbor who had called law enforcement. Pena was arraigned Tuesday during a virtual hearing in First District Court. He was charged with aggravated kidnapping, obstruction of justice, aggravated assault, retaliation against a witness, and violating a jail release agreement, along with 5 misdemeanors. Jordan Poole scored 26 points and converted a key layup with 1:27 left, and the undermanned Golden State Warriors rallied to beat the Utah Jazz 112-107 last night. Ty Jerome hit a go-ahead three-pointer with 5:18 to play after his own steal, then made a key rebound to help set up the three the next time down, as Golden State got another big performance from the backups. Lauri Markkanen scored 29 points and had 7 3-pointers and a season-best 16 rebounds for the Jazz. KVNU News Time is 4:38.
You'll love the holiday specials and big selection when you shop at U&I Furniture. Got guests coming? How about their best-selling mattress, a Therapeutic Serene featuring a zone coil system, comfy stretch knit top, only $399 for the queen size. For Christmas, a TV? How about 50 different console choices from small to large with or without fireplaces? And over 200 chairs on display, including the best in recliners. They offer free layaway and prices you'll love. A local standard when it comes to furniture. There's always a better buy at U&I Furniture, U&I Downtown Logan.
KVNU weather for tonight. We do have a winter weather advisory in effect in the valley, in the Cache Valley, Utah portion from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, and also for eastern Box Elder County as well. 2 to 4 inches of snow in the forecast, much more in the mountains. A winter storm warning in effect for the mountains, 4 feet of snow from 5 a.m. Friday all the way to 5 a.m. Monday, all the way through the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day weekend. 1 to 3 feet of snow possible in the mountains that could impact travel. Mostly cloudy tonight, low in the low 20s, and then Snow at times tomorrow. Snow in the evening, Friday night, then rain and snow after midnight. Another accumulation around 1 inch, and then Saturday, rain and snow with accumulations possible. High temperature around 40. It's been to 38. Right now it's 34 at KBNU. KBNU weather brought to you by Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back the sounds you've been missing. Schedule a free hearing evaluation with Dr. Paul Daines at Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com. Let's check Wall Street now with Edward Jones.
This is Branch Office Administrator Brittany Chambers bringing you the Daily Financial Market Report on behalf of Financial Advisor Daryl Arnell and Edward Jones. Equities closed notably higher on Thursday, rebounding from Wednesday's weakness. There were no major headlines at play, leaving markets to focus on the state of the economy heading into 2023. With recession concerns remaining the prominent theme as investors evaluate the Fed's upcoming interest rate moves. Government bond yields were modestly lower Thursday, but 10-year benchmark rates have moved higher in recent weeks as markets have reflected the prospects of further restrictive policy actions to fight sticky inflation. The dip in rates drove stronger gains for the NASDAQ index and the technology sector, while small caps also led today, signaling a more optimistic tone within today's move. Today, U.S. equities closed higher. The Dow closed up 345 points, or 1.05% at 33,221. The Nasdaq closed up 265 points, or 2.59% at 10,478. The S&P 500 closed up 66 points, or 1.75% at 3,849. And in the bond market, 10-year Treasury yields are trading at 3.83% lower by 0.06 percentage points. In stocks of local interest, Home Depot is up $4.68 to $320.41. Lowe's was up $2.20 to $202.26. Nucor was down 12 cents to $133.56. Pepsi was up 23 cents to $181.98. Thermo Fisher was up $13.60 to $557.01. Walmart was up 86 cents to $142.15. Zions Bank was up $1.11 to $49.08. And Northrop Grumman was up $1.59 to $542. In commodity markets, the price of crude oil was down 44 cents, or 0.56%, at $78.52, and the spot price of gold was up $5.70, or 0.31%, to $1,821.50. This has been today's Financial Market Report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor Daryl Arnell, serving individual investors with personalized attention and financial advice. If you would like additional information, please contact an Edward Jones branch office in Providence, Logan, or Smithfield. Daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
As the year ends, we reflect on the past year and think about all we are grateful for, and look forward to the excitement of the new year. Richard Dorighetti Advisors would like to remind you that now is the time to finish year-end tax planning and prepare for income tax filings. Richard Dorighetti Advisors offers the most complete and thorough tax services for individuals and businesses. Richard and his staff would like to wish everyone a happy and prosperous new year.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. When other airlines recovered in a reasonable amount of time, why did Southwest stumble so badly from a Christmas storm? Also, what are Republican leaders going to do about the congressman-elect from New York who fabricated parts of his background? And the ways our finances actually improved in a tough 2022. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. From 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM. Your station for news and talk.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio, recapping 2022 in the theater world. You're welcome to join us, 753-5868. As Charlie mentioned, a bit of a lull right now for a few weeks more as we enter the post-holiday theater season. Things get rolling again in early February with USU firing their calendar back up, and they have shows scheduled, throughout the spring, and some interesting stuff too. But then we'll start to see things. It snowballs every year. It picks up slowly, end of January, 1st of February, and then it starts rolling and then by summer, you're having to cross things off of your calendar because there is too much. And I should mention this quickly. It never slows down for the Wendy Hassan in the Wendy Hassan world in the Cache Valley Center for the Arts. And she has added some stuff. In January, there's the Repertory Dance Theater single night event, January 20th. And she's added a show there way out in September, but tickets will be going on sale sooner than that. Jazz at the Lincoln Center doing a tour this year.
I'm not sure.
Songs We Love?
That was originally scheduled for February 10th.
Oh, so this is a reschedule out to September. Wow.
Maybe.
Interesting. That's... and then there's comedy nights and more. Newsies kicks off in February as well through Cache Arts. There's a lot. USU, as I mentioned, will be firing things back up. Last year, it was... well, we'll see. This year might be better, but last year, I think, was one of my most memorable USU theater through the King College. The shows they had in 2022
were pretty interesting.
Yeah. It was really unique stuff, and I'll be blunt, not all of it great. Spring Awakening was extremely underwhelming for me, but I still think it's great they did it or took a shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see how the rest of their 22-23 season plays out when they get back to it in February. Man, my memory is so bad. I had all these highlights I thought of earlier today from the year, but now I can't think of any of them. I should have written them down.
Well, some of the high points this year were, of course, the opera Carmen for UFONT with Audrey Babcock playing the title role. She was just sensational, and she played Aldonza opposite Michael Ballum in the reprise of Man of La Mancha.
Oh, yeah.
And was excellent in that. And she's going to be back next year. She'll play the Egyptian princess in both Verdi's Aida and the Elton John, Tim Rice version.
I'm kind of excited for that this coming summer. The two different versions
should be interesting.
Yeah, and they're not similar. I mean, this isn't a situation where you go in and look for the small things that are different.
No,
These are very different productions of the same show. I think that's very cool.
What else have we got? One of the standouts at the God, I'm so tongue-tied. I can't believe it. At the Lyric was Herb Newsom. He played the lead in Fences. He performed his one-man show, Freeman in Paris, and he was sensational in A Fox on the Fairway.
Yeah.
He and Brandon Foxworth, did a lot of work together this season. They're both equity actors. Foxworth played his drinking buddy in Fences.
That's right.
And also played in Fox on the Fairway. That's about a golf tournament between rival country clubs. And the two of them played country club owners or managers. And that was a really cute show.
That's impressive. That I hadn't made the connection that he was the drinking buddy in Fences, and
Yeah.
that was another highlight for me this year.
Fences was pretty sensational. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I walked away from that one just being really reminded of how much talent there is in Cache Valley, just kind of waiting for an opportunity.
And the other thing and most of those performers were imported.
Yeah.
But Fences was really plagued with COVID-19.
Yeah. Almost to the point of cancellation, I heard.
Well, they did cancel a couple of performances.
Oh, that's right. They took them off the front and put them on the back, right?
Yeah. And
Forgot about that.
You had a local girl named Kat Lee.
Yeah.
Took over the role on opening night of Newsom's Wife, and just killed it, nailed it.
Excellent. That was, there's no way to say what I would have seen otherwise had that not happened, but she was good.
She was really good.
That's a name I actually
and she's
made
young.
note of.
She's young.
Yeah.
She's young. She's going to be with us for a while.
I bet we're going to be seeing her in some other stuff. And if you get the chance, you should, because, just really confident in what's a pretty complex role. That's was also yet another big year for Pickleville. They expanded once again, 2 years in a row now, expanded their offerings.
And, T.J. Davis is my pick for Director of the Year.
Really?
We had really good shows with good directors on them, but TJ's got my vote for the vision to take that step and create the Pickleville on Tour shows.
Yeah. Which have been hugely popular.
Yes.
I still say the question for Pickleville is maybe at one point was
how much can they expand?
Yeah. Where's the threshold on? And I think they're wondering that too. Maybe feeling that out.
Well,
they haven't hit it yet though.
He's promised that they're going to do a spring show as a touring show before Pickleville opens in the summer.
Yeah.
And you got to remember that he's been doing the original shows that Pickleville performs.
Yeah.
So whether the melodramas that they play with the shows that they get from leasers. So the question is, now he's got a couple of options there. He could take one of the previous shows that he's done for the summer melodrama.
Sure.
New Sheriff in Town,
all the one
Becoming a bona fide bad guy.
Yeah.
He could take one of those and put it on tour.
I think there's an audience to support it.
Yeah.
That's sort of Pickleville. I think part of it's there's a cliche about creating you create by creating this impression of sellouts and hard to get into. You actually create excitement for a production. I think their permanent location there in Garden City does that. It's a small theater. It sells out frequently, and you rarely hear anyone complaining about the $35 ticket or whatever it is these days. But I think that is always going to be a foundation for them. Mm-hmm. I would be really surprised if you ever heard of them expanding or making that facility larger over there. I think what they're doing is so smart. Instead, they're going out to these larger places. Someone else has to pick up the capital and the overhead.
Yeah.
They just get it for a few nights. And I think it's a really, really creative way for a now touring production company to do business. It's fascinating to me to watch. But as Charlie mentioned, somewhere there probably is a threshold, but they haven't hit it yet. We'll see.
If he's talking about writing a new show for the melodrama and doing a new show.
Yeah.
For I'm wondering if he can handle that. I'm wondering if he isn't going to meet himself somewhere along the line and say, "Whoa, I'm overextended."
Because you do risk burnout, I think, with that much.
But my God, he's talented.
Very talented.
He is very talented.
It's been fun to see, how he's applied that talent too, because they haven't gotten lazy. That's you see that happen a lot. Some success comes along, and then they just kind of. We've talked about this with the Juanito.
Well, no, we're talking about the Addams Family.
Oh, the repeat of
what is it? 4 times in a row?
Yeah, and last time was supposed to be the last time.
Yeah,
and they just kind of didn't say anything this year when they brought it back.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would like to see them do something different for that fall.
I don't know
Halloween slot.
Ask if you can keep packing people in to see that show and over and over again.
Yeah.
You might be crazy to go for something new.
You can't fault them because it's a guaranteed sellout.
Yeah.
Each show. And, Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio for our Theater Hour, recapping 2022 in the final Theater Hour episode of the year. We'll be back right after this.
Looking for the biggest preseason RV deals in 2023? You don't have to look hard when they're in your own backyard. During the Northern Utah RV Show, sponsored by Bish's RV, January 12th through the 14th, we're bringing the largest new and used RV show in Northern Utah history to the Golden Spike Event Center at the fairgrounds. For 3 days only, you'll find a massive selection of new and used travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, truck campers, and more, starting as low as $8,991, like on a used 2022 Viking 13-foot tent camper. We're also offering clearance pricing on all remaining 2022 RVs. No payments until April on approved credit. Plus, enter to win a brand new $30,000 travel trailer. No purchase necessary. Complete rules online at NorthUtahRVShow.com. Don't miss the biggest RV event in Northern Utah history. January 12th through the 14th inside the Golden Spike Event Center. Open daily at 10 a.m. with free admission. Sponsored by Bish's RV. Use 2022 Viking 10 camper VIN number 019538. SDK number 574038. Benefits price subject to prior sale. Sale price does not include tax, title, dock, surcharge, or registration. Dealer number 426B.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Hey everybody, John Weiss with Heritage Jeep. Well, we made it. 2022 is coming to an end, and to celebrate, we're going out with a bang at the Jeep 2022 Big Finish event. Don't miss your last chance to score a great deal on one of the legendary Jeep vehicles, like $3,500 cash allowance on one of the toughest and most versatile Jeep vehicles yet, the rugged 2022 Jeep Gladiator. Visit us at heritageeprice.com or come visit us in Brigham City, Tremont, or Logan. Heritage Jeep, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Did you build a new home? Regardless of how clean your builder was, your ducts will have a variety of construction debris in them. Debris like sawdust, flooring pieces, sheetrock dust, and more. You do not want to move into your home with that debris in the ductwork. Call the Duct Hunter and get on the schedule today. Call the Duct Hunter at 770-4813.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duct Hunter.
Wrapping up hour one of today's show. Just a minute left with our guest, Charlie Schill, here in the studio. Charlie, you'll be back with us next week. There won't be any openings, though, right, to discuss?
No.
But we can keep this conversation going, and there's plenty to look ahead to, right?
Sure.
A little preview of 2023 to follow up today's recap of 2022. Charlie Schill's work can be read each and every day at CashValleyDaily.com. News stories, theater reviews, and more. And he'll be back with us next Thursday at 4 for another episode of the For the People Theater Hour. Stay tuned. Coming up, our listeners' top 5 stories of the year. your headlines with smooth jazz and more in hour 2 of today's show right after this here on KVNU Logan.
As our world changes, we're with you. News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM, 610 AM, the voice of Northern Utah.